Hello everyone, this is Darth Shinobi here. This is my second take of this video. If you can hear the background noise, ignore it. This is the only time of the day I could really do this video. I'd rather do it daytime than wait till nighttime to do it. Anyway, if you've watched the last video, you know what book I'm going to review. It's the next installment of the New Jedi Order series. At this point, we're going to get to the halfway point. Star by Star by Troy During. So, if you've read this far, you know what to expect. But if you haven't read this far, I'll watch the other videos first. Now, just a heads up. If you have yet to read this book, I'm going to warn you now, unlike my other reviews, I'm going to talk about some spoilers here. So if you're part of the anti-spoiler police, don't bitch at me if I spoil something that you wanted to find out for yourself. I warned you right now. Don't watch this video if you don't want spoilers. Anyway, what's included in this book, at least this version, I don't know if the other one they released originally had it, because I don't own that. Recovery is included on here, which is essential to read if you want to know what Leia and Han were doing between Balance Point and the Edge of Victory duology. Other than that, let's talk about the book itself. This takes place 4 months after the events of the Edge of Victory duology. And things are not looking well for the Jedi. I keep saying that for many of these videos, but they really aren't. The Yuuzhan Vong have a genetically engineered creatures called the Vaccine that are made specifically to hunt down the Jedi. And they're a huge threat, in which could be a huge danger to the Jedi Order, so Luke Skywalker sends his nephew, Anakin Solo, to the planet of Melkar. If you read the Thrawn trilogy, you'd be familiar with the planet, to destroy the threat. 17 of the members of the strike team go with Anakin. Now, that's not all that happens in this book. A bunch of stuff happens. Some political onslaught happens with the current chief of state, Bralix Fey. I think I'm not pronouncing that right. And there's a lot of anti-Jedi sentiment in this book. And the senator, Fetch Swish, I think I pronounced her name right, hopefully. Don't kill me, people. Alright. There's a lot of conflicts that go on with this book, and at this point, I was clapping when Leia said, "I'm through with the Senate," which to me, I think it's very fitting for her character. I mean, after all the shit she's gone through up until this point, and her suddenly not caring anymore, will want nothing to do with the Senate, that is very fitting for her character. Anyone that says otherwise doesn't know the character of Leia. At least not in this canon anyway. But I'm not going to discuss Disney canon in this video because I don't think any of you want to hear it. Anyway. The Yuuzhan Vong, they discover that Jacen and Jaina are twins. And if anyone who knows their Star Wars lore up at this point, the Yuuzhan Vong twins are not very common. And it's revealed in this book that the overlord of the Yuuzhan Vong, Lord Samiral, I cannot pronounce his name for shit. I'm so sorry, people, if I sound like a dumbass pronouncing it. He killed his twin brother, and they figured they should break the Solo twins and have them fight to the death. I wonder if that's foreshadowing the events of future books. Wink, wink. And other things that happen in this book. It's hard to talk about everything in this video. I'm trying to narrow it down as much as possible. But a lot of shit happens. Not so happy things. Lots of people die. Lots of Jedi die. And this shows you the ugly side of war. This book. This book, I'm sorry. At this point, this series goes to show you that Star Wars is not just for kids. Adults can enjoy it too. And this is why I love this series. But I'm not going to get to that until I get to my thoughts on the series so far section of the video. okay, let's get now. Let's. Sorry, I just had a brain fart for a second. By the end of this book, a certain character dies, and it had affected me a lot harder than Ninshui's death. Most of the Jedi Strike Team, a good chunk of them, never left the planet alive. It shows you the harsh reality of war, that war isn't pretty. Coruscant falls. The New Republic is destroyed at the end of this book. And pretty much, I'm going to end it here until next year, because I figured why not? I'm consider this the season finale of the Star Wars Expanded Universe, at least for New Jedi Order. What would I think of this book? I know I haven't gone into too much detail, but then again, I don't want to give too much spoilers for this. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. There's nothing I find wrong with it. The pacing was great. The characterization was spot on. The characters were in character. There was a lot of moments where, I enjoyed. And it affected me heavily emotionally by the end of the book. And, of course, it foreshadows an event that's going to happen later in the Expanded Universe about a certain character falling to the dark side. This book pretty much foreshadows that event. Yeah, the EU doesn't have story structure my ass, but that's a rant for another day. Anyway, what are my thoughts of the series so far? Since we're at this point in this video, what are my thoughts on the New Jedi Order series? Because this series gets a lot of shit for being too dark. Some people say it ruined Star Wars, and some people say it doesn't feel like Star Wars. And honestly, I like to say I disagree on that. New Jedi Order, honestly, I was uncomfortable at first because I thought the Yuuzhan Vong were stupid. It didn't really fit in Star Wars. But as a Star Wars fan myself, as someone who loves the EU, there's no way I can let something like that drive me away. And I thought, you know what? I'll just read a few books on the side with New Jedi Order if it ends up being dreadful. And good God, I actually end up neglecting some of my other books because of New Jedi Order. When I started giving the Disney canon a chance, New Jedi Order killed my interest in that too. New Jedi Order killed my interest even in seeing The Force Awakens. Not that I had much interest to begin with, but it killed my interest even more. New Jedi Order, I think, was very creative with what they did with the Star Wars franchise. It took it to a bold new direction. No characters were safe anymore in the Expanded Universe. And no character... The plot armor wasn't really that relevant for characters anymore. Yeah, there's like 3 characters that George Lucas said no, that they couldn't kill off. R2-D2, 3PO, and Luke Skywalker. But everyone else was fair game. Everyone. That means in this series, even Leia could have died. Han could have died. Lando could have died. George Lucas gave the writers the freedom to do whatever they wanted for the most part. With a few restrictions here and there, but it still fits in the continuity of the Star Wars universe. Not only does this book, I think, feel like Star Wars, I think it takes Star Wars in directions that I didn't think it could take it before. It gives us deeper characters, deeper storylines, and much more compelling, characters and heroes and villains. The Jedi, it shows a side of them that you don't see in the movies. New Jedi Order, in my opinion, is one of the best works of the Expanded Universe. I think every Star Wars fan should give it a chance. Honestly. Yes, it kills your favorite character. Yeah, it kills Chewbacca. So what? Episode 7 is going to kill Han Solo. And no one gives a flying fuck about that. So, yeah. And I like the fact that no character's safe, because even my favorite characters can die. Some character deaths I already know. But that doesn't mean it's going to change how I view these stories. I know Mara Jade is going to die in sacrifice. Spoiler alert. But when I get to that point, it will still. I believe it'll have the same effect on me as Anakin Solo's death had in Star by Star. That death was very emotional. Everyone's reaction to it, Luke's reaction to it, Han and Leia. Oh my God. That is one of the saddest moments of the expanded universe, is Anakin Solo's death. Luke Skywalker, feeling angry and, vengeful and guilty for the death of his nephew. Han feeling guilty because of what happened earlier in the series. Leia losing her firstborn son. Considering the way these characters reacted to the death of their son, I think it's in character for them. And anyone that says that the EU is shit, it is terrible, it deserves to be decanonized, you guys don't know what you missed. I can't believe I did not read this when I was younger. This series is great. I did not a single dull moment so far. This is the harsh reality of war. War isn't a pretty picture. And I hear some of you people, when they talk about The Force Awakens, that's what you want. You want them to show the reality of war, show the harshness of it more. You know what? I don't get why you're okay with that, but you're not okay with them doing what they already did years before Episode 7 is coming out. But I'm not going to... But I love this series. Nothing can change that. We have 10 books to go. And the next book in this series, which you'll be seeing a review of that in January, Dark Journey. We're going to take a brief break from New Jedi Order again, because the New Year's is approaching. And the next books I'm going to review are book 3 and 4 of the Jedi Apprentice series by Jade Watson, and Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void. Those are my next reviews you'll be seeing. Whatever one I finish first is what I'm going to upload. Anyway, adios everyone. See you guys later, and may the Force be with you. Darth Sinovia signing out.